Retreating!
What is it now? I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. We will leave when there is someplace else for us to go. Tell your friends in Emer that as long as the Tuatha burn our homes, we'll keep searching for a place to settle. I saw them with my own eyes, and I know Tuatha killed my fair share in the war. I am Elrod Edmund, leader of this pathetic band of ragmen. We come from the farms of the Twili coast. Go there now, and you will find only ruin. The Tuatha raiding parties terrorized us where we were safest. At home. There are spies among us, my friend, and they must be rooted out. Will you help me? Kill them. What else? I would do it myself, but I must lead my people. They have no hope left to speak of. My strength is all they have. Fine. Then we shall be discreet. There are 3 whom I suspect of scouting for the Tuatha. They are paid in gold. There is no record of their actions. Onred Amphast is posing as a military recruiter, while Froma and Nag are both residents of our camps in the plain. Be careful. Consider all of them well connected. Be swift. Be merciless. Good luck.
Be careful.
Just give me a straight answer. Is the General still in the cradle of summer?
She is for as much good as it'll do her. But the cards don't lie. She'll never get that door open. Fate says it's so.
Yes. Well, then I suppose we'll just have to change fate, won't we?
Oh, this is just terrible.
Thank you for coming all this way. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounds as if General Talera is still here, in exile. For all but losing the fortress of Melsenshire. Long ago, Talera led our forces, but then the Tuatha produced a foe she could not best. Her forces barely survived the retreat out of Cluracan. Many blamed her for the loss. to have built up hopes so high, only to have them topple. That was Talera's crime, and she has paid for it, day after day. You're as quick as ever. Talera is in the cradle of summer, banished from the battlefields of Mel Senshir until she can atone for her past. According to the Fate Weaver here, she seeks an artifact from Ural Tusk that might break the siege and aid our forces. But she cannot do so alone, for poor Talera is fated never to succeed. That is where you can help. A close friend once told me, strive to be whatever you want to be. Fate might be a lie, but if it isn't, then worrying about it won't change a thing. Last I heard, General Talera was somewhere in northern Arethel, searching for a way to turn the tide of the war. I think she took a squad to Uraltusk. In a hidden valley, northwest of the plains of Arethel, the ruins of Uraltusk lie undisturbed, as they have for many centuries. What Talera wants there is beyond me, but I trust her, even if it goes against my better judgment. General Talera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan, but a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. The Tuatha are a radical sect of Fae within the Winter Court, led by Gadflow and his insane rants about their new god. They've taken power and declared war on mortals. They use raw Prismia to enhance their power, and their devotion borders on madness. But the most terrifying thing to the Fae is simply the fact that their siblings have changed so completely. We've known for a long time that Prismia crystals allow us to store and focus magical power. The gnomes use it in their grander inventions, when they can get it. But we have no idea how Gadflow got a hold of so much of it. It makes his Tuatha the most dangerous army I've ever seen. None of us could have foreseen the rise of Gadflow and his army, but we should have, and now we're all facing the price. For a long time, they were content to keep to their play of the summer and winter courts. Now we fight Gadflow and the Tuatha for our very existence. The Winter Court, or the Unseelie, embrace the destruction and decay of nature. They aren't evil, but they aren't exactly the best of friends. Normally, they share power peacefully with the Summer Court. But since the Tuatha have seized power, there is neither peace nor predictability. We are the charmed, the subtle, and the inspired. In happier days, we were the loftiest of the mortal races. We despise open war. But for decades, the Tuatha have been at war with us, pushing into our lands and forcing us to take up arms. You haven't been around much, have you? The Tuatha have been pressing west from their home in Alabastra. Right now, they're only threatening my people. But if we fall, the Tuatha will turn their eyes to the other mortal races. The Summer Court, or the Seelie Fae if you prefer, embody the growth and energy of nature, but they can still be as aloof and uncaring as a brutal summer day. The current High King of the Fae is Titarian, the wisest of the Summer Court. While Gadflow has undermined the Winter Court, he tries to keep their cycle in balance. Titarian isn't quite what you'd expect from the High King of Summer, but he hasn't got the arrogance of his cousins, or their cheer. Ever since Gadflow killed the High King of Winter and started the war, Titarian has become distant and melancholy, and blind to the dangers around him. Niralem is the oldest living mortal. He remembers the time before even the Fae called these lands home. You should see how they cherish him. He rarely grants an audience to visitors. His tenders say he knows the future as well as the past. It makes him very particular about what he says. The gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Fae, once spread from the forests of Dalentarth, across the plains of Erethel, and even through the deserts of Ditir. Between the madness of the war and the spread of man, Alfar, and Nome, the Summer Fae lose a little more ground every day. A tragedy for them. You should be just what the General's looking for.
I am on official business. Unless you've been sent by the Alfar army, we have no reason to speak. Ask anyone and you'll get the same answer. They're animals. They care nothing for the mortal races. We're just dust to them. Enough! Keep your voice down. You're right. I'm a scoundrel and a coward. But you would have done the same thing. Give me a chance to make it right. You have my word, as a father. My informing days are over. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not one of them. War is harsh on many people in many ways. Those of us who can avoid the suffering should. Good riddance.
You resemble someone of authority. 2 rogues, likely freemen, have stolen a precious item from me. Pay attention! And to think my taxes pay your salary. There were 2 of them, swarthy brutes, hairy, filthy. I shudder at the thought. The beasts ransacked my antiquities collection and stole several notable items. I am a gentleman, and if you can recover my amulet, I will make it worth your time and effort. I glimpsed them leaving through the back window as they made for the woods. Name your price. Well, perhaps that's not accurate, but you will win my favor. And they don't call me the richest man in Gorehot for my charming personality. Excellent. I will stay here, secure, and wait for your return. I've told you everything, fool. Farewell, stranger.
What do you need? Isn't it a glorious day, as if Helios himself warms us with a smile? To what do I owe this courtesy? I only have a few moments to spare. The godstorm awaits my return, and it doesn't like to wait. Why, the godstorm is the greatest event that our fragile world has ever witnessed. It was a battle, a conflict between Fae. They call it the Withering War. That's why I relocated to Emer to complete my book, the definitive work on the subject. The village is nice enough, quiet, although the new arrivals give me no peace. Sadly, I lack the last few resources needed to tell the full story. The works of the famous scribes Ewald, Dalston, Callas, and Wildfrold. Gone. I was so close. They are lost to the ages, I'm afraid. Minds such as Ewald and Callas are rare. I suspect that their works have been spread across the plains. Athene's wisdom be yours.
Help me! Bandits stole my amulet, the Eye of Amun, and I must get it back. Please! So, old Mundus knows what happened. Well, I don't have the amulet. Gelt does. He took it from me. In exchange, he left his dagger in my shoulder. I knew the gem was cursed. I overheard Faye speak of it, and of the great trickster Amun. But the curse is worth the agony. Imagine the gold! Haven't you heard? The Tuatha have moved raiding parties inland. They've sacked homes all along the coast. Farms burned, whole families killed. Those of us that have survived are moving west, hoping the Summer Fae will provide a safe haven. The last hope for the hopeless. You went north.
From the naked dirt sprang the Majestics, the firstborn of the wilds of Ashara. Around them, they heard the song of splendor of a once and future summer. And they responded. And the earth moved. The carver shaped, the architect built, and the shaper composed. Departing their home beyond the Veil, the firstborn were torn asunder, with a cry that still lingers in the heart of every god tree and mountain. Then, emptiness, followed by a darkening sky, and the frost wept with the first winter.
Are you one of the intruders? One of the children of the dust? What else can we possibly give you that you haven't already taken? The cradle of summer is not a flower for the plucking. Mortals. Children of the dust. Those who seek only to steal the treasures of the land from which we sprung, to end the deep slumber. Mortals like you who seek to bend nature to their will, to make it bow before them as a servant, not embrace it as a guide and mother. Mortals. Thieves, liars, and weaklings. They have stolen items of great power. They have stolen the three staffs. They are Rivener Tarsus, Gloamfrost, and Ender's Fire. Three incredible weapons forged to end a war that was threatening to engulf your mortal world. Such prizes, such items of power and importance cannot be kept in the open, and so they were hidden here. That is, until the intruders took them. A child of the dust wishes to help the cycle? Why, there is no precedent. If you truly wish to assist those of us in the deep slumber, you are welcome to. The three staffs were stolen from Sill Hollow and destroyed by the thieves who did not comprehend their power or their value. I heard their dying screams. The pieces must be recovered and the staffs must be reforged. If you can do this, you are more worthy of the cradle than I could imagine. But likely, you will not. It is for those answers that I seek the wisdom of the slumber. For it is in its reverie where I will learn the whereabouts of these thieves, Raff, Purter, and Hagney. May your gods be with you.
Hail. I am General Talera ap Gwydion, former commander of the Eastern Alfar forces. Surely you're not the aide Aelin Shear promised. She spoke as if she planned to send a whole squad of soldiers, not one faceless mercenary. You have the bearing of one that's seen combat, but you never fought in the war, or you would know who I am. Once I was the commander of Mel Senshir, the Alfar fortress to the east. I held back the Tuatha at every push before the Baelor came. Then everything fell to pieces. So, she is behind this. That woman. One too many times she's meddled in my affairs, making promises she never intends to keep. Well, perhaps it is for the best. The fewer people involved in my affairs, the better. You see, misfortune follows closely at my heels. It is the lot fate has cast for me. The years have been long since I first learned of the means that might deliver Mel Senshir from the Tuatha. It lies in Earl Tusk, beyond a gate fated never to be opened, in a hall awash with Niskaru. Any who seek access to the ruin must face them. These ruins are said to be the resting place of the Piercing Light, a spear carved from the tusk of the Niskaru Duke, Gajor. The legends say it destroys any horror, in the mind or on the battlefield. No place is more deserving of such a power as Mel Senshir. For all my years of research, I've only ever found one clue to this puzzle: when the great voices rise in song. It may refer to the wind stones scattered across the plains. They bear a striking resemblance to the stones of this ruin. But that's simply me grasping at answers. Take this chime. It is said to have been taken from the ruin during its construction many centuries ago. I've tried using it on the windstones with no luck. The inscription says the gate will open when the great voices rise in song. I think this means the windstones that are spread across Erethel. There's one just a little to the south. Go there and strike this chime near it. I'll stay here to see if it has any effect. The windstones are located all across the plains.
The Shaper bequeathed her music to the countryside of marbled ruin. The plains birthed the gentle grass. Listless streams meandered through the verdant hills and babbled of their gentle travel to the face of the windswept cliffs. Thus the symphony of Erethel began.
can't believe it. The gate shifted? For all my efforts, you simply appear and make it respond. No. You've opened one part of the gate, but 4 more remain. You must find the wind stones scattered throughout the plains and activate them. I will remain here. The Niskara will sense that the seal is weakened. Someone must try to hold them back. I'll stay here and fight.
Care to join me in my work? You look like you could use a few moments of quiet reflection. This warped old rod? I can't imagine why you'd have any interest in it. It's a patchwork piece, coupled together from bits and bobs. However, I did invest many hours of my life in its construction. My hands still bear the calluses. I would part with it for a price. I couldn't have parted with it for any less, you understand. A man's handiwork is still worth something. Enjoy the peace, and good day. Be well.
These walls are grown, are built of stone. Lovingly this place was crafted. You see the lights, the mystic halls of ordered reality? They are the faces of the missing, the embodied truth of the lost souls. There are so many of them. Still, you can see them. They are like pathetic charades. Some with good intentions, and you can't fault them that. But the majority of them are just a hoax. Needless to say, I don't like it here. You could have stayed free and lived a comfortable life, but you couldn't settle the disquiet that haunts people like you. That does not seem so strange. I'm sure there are many people who in their youth had a similar experience, but of course I am leaving something out. I mentioned the unrest in my soul. I know it intimately. When I was young, I was visited by something unlike anything else of this world. It was an ephemeral, ghostly thing. I called it a divine spirit, for I had no better word to describe it. This thing was not fey, but possessed a timelessness like one. It glowed with an aura of magic about it, but I was not afraid, for a serene peace was born on the countenance of this divine spirit. Then returned the prophetess to her people, who, content with largesse, would stay in their wintry country. Tyrion spoke, as I know, her silken robes the fabric of Lyria's hand. Hail! The words of the goddess I herald unto her people, and have I heard from starlit lands in her woven grasp. Her way is east, that way which we must travel, for these frosty vales are not beautiful. Our cousins, we say unto you, be no more troubled by our plight. We will go to the opposite ends of Altharia, and be Dokofar content.
You're in my path, stranger. I ask that you step aside before I cast you off the cliffs. That's laughable. I don't know you, I don't trust you, and I don't like the looks of you. You appeal to me using your mortal sense of guilt, something I truly do not understand. However, my role in the telling does not include Riven or Tarsus. Take my staff. The peace you seek is within. May it bring clarity to the deep slumber. Go on.
None of the Order, eh? What brings you to Helmgard? You've all the scrolls, then? Good. Nasty thieves, them kobolds. Here's your gold, then. Goodbye.
Most pledge shields arrive, get trained. Then head off to war.
From the dark of north he came, sword alight with frosted blood, to starkly carve a kingdom from a land of stone and flood. A hero true, a warrior born, his deeds the bards did daily sing. Exultingly they crowned him king.
Be careful around the General.